Paul Skenes just joined an elite club of pitchers with a unanimous Cy Young Award victory. But beyond the award, what does this mean for the Pirates' future? Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Pirates, your daily Pittsburgh Pirates podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Pirates, part of the number one network in all the land, Locked On Podcast Network. I'm Gary Morgan, lifelong fan covering this team since 2019. Started way back with Sports Illustrated local edition here, covering the Pirates. And today we've got a big one for you. 3 segments. First, we're going to do Paul Skenes winning the National League Cy Young Award, unanimously, of course. Second, the rumor mill says he wants to be a Yankee. What's real? What's noise? And third, why I believe Skenes thinks this team can win. And maybe why Baseball America agrees. Let's dive in. But first, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the app today. Paul Skenes is the 2025 National League Cy Young Award winner, and he did it unanimously. That's right. Every single first place vote went to him. Only 16 pitchers in history have done that. The last was Sandy Alcantara in 2022. Sandy Koufax did it 3 times. Greg Maddux twice. So actually, it's not really 16 other pitchers. It's just 16 other times this has happened because, again, there's been multiple winners that have done it a couple times. And man, does Paul look like he wants to just have one? That's the company Paul Skenes is keeping right now. He did it with a 10-10 record. And that's how dominant he was. An ERA of 197, strikeouts 216. It's a new Pirates single season record for a right-handed pitcher. That whip of 0.95, that ERA of 197, that ERA plus of 217. That's 117% better than league average. Just mind-blowing stuff. Ground ball rate of 61.2%. 187.2 innings pitched, 32 starts, and only 6.5 hits per 9 innings. He's the first Pirates pitcher in the live ball era with a sub-2 ERA. First since Bill Burns in 1908-09 to post a sub-2 ERA in each of his first 2 seasons with at least 100 innings. And he made his second straight All-Star team. This was unbelievable. What a season. And the funny thing is, in baseball, you're probably a little bit superstitious if you followed this game for any kind of length of time. I don't know how many of you felt that there was at least a good chance we were going to have a sophomore slump. I mean, you've been around for a minute. It's not made up. I mean, it's a real thing. People really do struggle in year 2. But that was the thing with Paul. Boy, he didn't just come out and do what he did in his very, very indisputably incredible rookie season. I mean, he could have just rested on his laurels, knew what he did was otherworldly, and it had already brought him accolades that no other rookie had gotten, and he was incredible. But he didn't do that. Instead, he came back in 2025 and just changed things even more. Changed his repertoire. Started using different pitches more effectively. All but dumped the splinter altogether. I mean, as much fanfare as that pitch had come with, he still threw it a little bit here and there, but really replaced its effectiveness with a straight changeup, which became deadly this year. I mean, he has 7, if not 8 pitches that can put you away. I don't know how you approach an at bat against him. I can't even imagine it. I had an opportunity earlier this year to try out one of the machines that they have down at PNC Park that has. They also have one, at a couple other facilities that I like to go to and meet people. But you can actually program in most major league pitchers and kind of face them. It's, at least from what I hear from the professionals, at least a reasonable facsimile of the truth. Obviously, without the fear of one getting away a little bit from somebody throwing it 101 at you. You're not going to have that experience with the pitching machine, but I got to stand in against it a little bit. Listen, don't worry. I'm not trying to pretend that I could even hit 79 miles per hour. It's not that. It's just I stood in basically just to see what the different pitches look like when they're all coming in. And what I couldn't get past was how they all kind of had the same plane until it was way too long for me to even think about uncorking a swing. Now, I don't have that quick twitch timing that major league hitters do. But I watched a couple major league hitters take a shot at it too. I watched college players do it. I mean, I've watched a lot of guys really, really should have better timing than an old dude like me. That, again, that's not the point of why I was standing there. I literally just wanted to kind of see beyond just a 3D graphic of it, just what it's like making that decision. How much time do you really have to make that decision? When do the pitches do whatever they're going to do? With Paul, it's insane how they all come in same pointed and they just go in 7 different directions and 6 or 7 different speeds. He's got almost a 25-mile-an-hour speed differential from top to bottom. He's indefensible. I mean, I don't know how you scout him. A lot of the sophomore slump, we call it superstition, but a lot of it, if you want to be real about it, is that guys get scouted. They get figured out, and the league always pushes back. Paul Skenes challenges these truths because, again, he's not hiding from you what he's going to do. All those pitches are there. He may one night decide he's going to throw 75% four-seam fastballs. He may one night decide he's going to throw about 5 of them. I don't know how you prepare for it. And let's say you did prepare for it. Let's say you decided every time he throws a four-seam fastball, as soon as you pick up fastball, you're going to swing, and he picks up on that. That's clearly what you guys are trying to do. I mean, he doesn't need to throw you one. Unlike other pitchers, you can't con him into doing something because you hit something else. He can just eliminate one if he feels like it. That's not even the only fastball he throws. If you want to try to just get the force, okay. You want to sit on that 2-seamer riding in on your hands, it's coming, and you want to be ready for it and jump out in front of it and pull it. Okay. Well, maybe he'll throw you the changeup instead, and you're waiting on that action. You're just going to be about a minute and a half before the pitch gets there with your swing. He's otherworldly. Those of us that have been watching this game a long time, you guys included, listen, you're seeing something that you haven't seen before. He didn't just win the Cy Young. He kind of redefined what dominance looks like in Pittsburgh. And honestly, this might be the best pitching season we've ever seen from a Pirate. It was really cool having Dougie Drabeck help announce it too on the broadcast last night. I mean, They kind of gave away the lead there by announcing Doug Drabeck as who was going to pick the winner or announce the winner. But I think we all knew that months ago anyway. As amazing as this is, though, the celebration didn't really get to last all that long before the rumor mill started spinning. Let's talk about that a little bit. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride that hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to the fourth quarter big comeback. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game interesting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com and sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Hey, welcome back to Locked On Pirates. Before we dig in, though, hey, quick shout out to all the everydayers. You make this show what it is. And if you're new, welcome to the #1 daily podcast for Pirates fans. Now, about that Yankee rumor. You guys know how these things work, right? I mean, like, you're going to get these rumors. There's nothing you can do about it. A report out of New Jersey, which is just, makes no sense, claims Paul Skenes told teammates he wants to be a Yankee. And look, these things are hard to argue because we all saw this coming the day he was drafted. I mean, for a lot of guys, I'll slam this team for failing to extend. But this one, if MLB doesn't change, it's largely out of their hands. The reality is this dude is going to get 500 million plus. And it'd be like riding a scooter for 40 years and then buying your first car and it's a Lambo. Like the time to extend Skenes was before he debuted. Same as Connor Griffin. Miss that window, at least under this current setup, and you lose all bargaining power. You don't have those cheap years to overpay for in order to maybe underpay a little bit in the future. But here's the thing. Paul squashed this rumor immediately. I mean, here's what he said recently. We're stewards of the game. We're stewards of the city of Pittsburgh. It's a whole lot bigger than all of us. I'm on the Pirates. My goal is to win with the Pirates. I love the city of Pittsburgh. The fans are hungry to have a winner in Pittsburgh. And I want to be part of the group that did that. So, yeah, believe what you want. But right now, Paul Skenes is all in. And honestly, when you hear him talk about his goals, you start to believe him. I mean, you really start to believe that it could happen. Paul Skenes wants to shoot for things like Bob Gibson's record. He wants that almost 1 ERA. This isn't a guy that feels like he's this guy and he deserves to have this all-star team piled around. He's a guy that believes everyone around him can get better. He believes he can get better. And if a guy like him believes he can get better, I mean, yes, of course he believes his teammates can. But this is the sort of rumor that, again, I don't want to fight because it's eventually going to be right. When you make the jokes like, oh, well, he's going to look great in pinstripes one day. We all know. Honestly, you're basically kicking somebody in the shins that already has bruises all over them. We know exactly what this team does. We know exactly what this league causes. We know exactly what our team can do versus what they won't do. But most of us are not dumb enough to believe that they even have the capability to do some of the things that other teams do. And that's where the difference lies. This is one of those things. So, yeah, I know eventually at some point he's going to be a Yankee. That said, or something. That said, it's completely out of his character to have said this to any teammate. It's just not in his character. Jason Mackey's backed that up. Most people that have interacted with him in any way, shape, or form, I can't see it. I really can't. Now, that doesn't mean that he wouldn't like to be a Yankee. I'm not disputing the fact that he would. I'm not disputing the fact that he'd like to win. What I am disputing is that Paul is the type of guy that in that locker room would ever allowed say that he wants to be traded long before he reaches free agency, as was proposed in that New Jersey article. And I just for the life of me cannot believe that he would name a specific team. Now, I've heard him speak with reverence about his opportunity to pitch in Yankee Stadium. So, again, I don't deny that it probably is something that he's interested in. I don't deny that he would want to go and play for a good team. And I also don't deny that eventually, if things don't change, like that's probably what's going to happen. But that doesn't mean like that you can't enjoy it right now. And it doesn't mean that he is itching to get out of here or can't wait. It's not like he's going to be 38 by the time he's done here in Pittsburgh. And he thinks he's being handled well. He likes his teammates. He likes a lot of his teammates. He liked his coaching. He, he'll like his next coaching. Loves his catcher. And Jared Jones just cemented like best friend status. There he was last night at the party when he was accepting the award. But like, listen, this is a guy that's not unhappy right now. Okay? Like, it's been 2 years. I think a lot of people want to pile the 40 years of losing right on the backs of these people that just got here. How long did it take you to get as disgruntled as you are? It didn't take a year. It didn't take 2 years. Especially when you're literally one of the, if not the best player on the team. You're leading the charge to try to take this team somewhere. Just from what you've seen from Paul Skenes, what about his personality would lead you to believe that he's departing competitive mode for a moment to go out there and tell his teammates that he wants out? Which one of you thinks that? I'd love to hear how you believe it. Because these types of things, they're going to come out. There's going to be rumors. Every blogger in the world wants something that gets a ton of clicks. And guess what does? Right? If I wanted to be a click-hungry guy, I mean, my header today might be Skenes gone? ? Dun, dun, dun. You're going to hear that stuff, though. And every big market fan base is going to assume that not only is he going to come there, but it's their right. It's their privilege. And why wouldn't you feel that way? Because every year when the free agent market board comes out, you treat it like the old Hills catalog and open it up and start circling every expensive friggin' toy in it before you hand it to your mom, who instantly laughs at you and asks if you hate the knockoff G.I. Joes or Legos. Right? I mean, like, Paul Skenes is happy right now, and it hasn't really been that long. It hasn't been long enough. Some of the discussions that you guys want to have about how he probably feels or where he is, or I mean, this is sports. I mean, why do rookies get to just step in and automatically everything that's ever happened in a franchise is supposed to turn upside down on its head? It doesn't work out that way. Like, it just doesn't work out that way most of the time. You know, he's a piece. He's a part of something. And this team might fail to put something around him. They might. Then again, let's get into the third segment because maybe they will too. Welcome back to Locked On Pirates. Be on the lookout for more details about our Everydayer Club here in the near future. And follow me or the show on socials, Gary MO2007 on X or Locked On Pirates, just about anywhere. This last segment is about why I think Paul Skenes truly believes this team can win and why Baseball America seems to agree. I mean, give up fewer runs, throw more innings, strike more guys out, walk fewer guys. That's Paul Skenes talking about what he would like to do next year. After what he just did, right? He even mentioned Bob Gibson's 1.12 ERA as a goalpost. He said, the plan is not to be the same pitcher I was last year because there's stuff to do better. That's the mindset of a guy who isn't satisfied with being great. He wants to be historic. Baseball America just wrote, if Paul Skenes stays healthy and isn't traded away, and if Connor Griffin becomes the player Baseball America and the rest of the baseball industry believes he will be, it's time for Pirates fans to start to dream again. They went on to say, add Bubba Chandler, Jared Jones, Braxton Ashcraft, Hunter Barco, and a wave of prospects behind them. Even if they don't all hit, as long as Skenes dominates and Griffin emerges as a star, this team could be the best Pirates squad in decades. It's hard to be truly bad with two legit stars. And that's why I believe Paul Skenes when he says he wants to win here in Pittsburgh. So some of that is just stuff that, you know, a smart kid's going to say in the media about where he's at. Right? Paul Skenes is, of course, going to be a positive guy. But when he sets goals like matching something like what Bob Gibson did, it's crazy. Nobody else in the league really should even be contemplating talking about doing something like that. Or, you know, matching Sandy maybe he wants Sandy Koufax's 3 unanimous Cy Young Award victories. But if Paul Skenes doesn't even think he's as good as he's going to get, why would he think that anybody on the team is? Of course he thinks Henry can be better. Of course he thinks Nick can be better. Of course he thinks Jared Jones is going to come back and shove like he did. Of course he thinks Bubba Chandler is going to kick butt. Yeah. He believes in himself. He believes in his teammates and he believes in his coaching. Must have mentioned it 100 times last night. Coaching, you know, and the team environment. I think that he really believes it. And I don't think he has all that long to pull it off. But I don't think that you're going to see the Pirates accelerate that timeline. I really don't. I think he's got a real shot to do it here. And I think Baseball America is on to something with their approach to why. Because it really has been a while since the Pirates have had absolute nailed on stars like that, right? Like, even when they won in the last decade, okay, you had Andrew McCutchen. He was legitimately one of the best players in baseball. He really was. MVP, totally deserved it. He was the best player in baseball that year. He really was. You can't ever take it away from him. It was 1 year. And he was pretty damn good in those other years. But not that level. And they never had a pitcher like that. Garrett Cole was never that level here. He was good. He was never that level. AJ was a lot of great things, but he was never that. Francisco Liriano, wonderful for a time. Not great. So I think, yeah, they could potentially have two sides of an equation that they've never really gotten done before. They really could have a generational star on the mound and a generational star in the field. There's still a little bit of track to travel before we get to the point where we know that about Connor Griffin. Now, I hope so. I like what I've seen. And Baseball America has a pretty compelling argument posted on their website that I implore you to go read, that talks in depth about why they have such faith in their 1-1s. When they get to the point where you are the number one prospect in all of baseball, I think what they're trying to illustrate is they don't miss a lot. And I don't think they will on this one either. In fact, I actually think we're going to see Connor Griffin probably have even better contact numbers when he comes back. Just from what I've seen he and his father post on social media about what they're working on. And everything that he worked on the year before is the stuff that we assumed a rookie was going to have to deal with, and he didn't, because he had already knocked it out. And it looks like he's kind of moving on to the next list of things, which is what could make him go from a successful professional to a successful major league hitter. But the Pirates really could have that, and they really could have a couple. Bubba really does have that kind of ceiling, truthfully. And I can't sit here and list out everybody that they've got that is going to be generational. I think you should be very sparing when you talk like that. You shouldn't pull those things out a lot. You shouldn't say things like that a lot, because they're not true most of the time. The truth is that it's really hard to be that great. And not a lot of players have the ability to do it. And not a lot of players, even fewer than that, have the ability to do it for a long time. You get 3-4 windows of stretches at times from guys. And I think that's kind of the exciting part here is, yes, even if the Pirates just go chalk and do what they always do, they have team control of Paul Skenes through 2029. In theory, barring a lockout or whatever, that's 4 more seasons of Paul Skenes if they don't do anything else. Okay? So you add that up side by side with what could very well be another generational talent in Connor Griffin. I mean, let's say he's like even 3/4 of what Bobby Witt is. Does that not drastically change this team? It does, and fills a hole. Pirates need to get out of the way and let that happen if it's going to line up next year, because it's their fastest way to truly, truly transform this lineup. I'm not going to say he's going to fix every other issue that the team has. He's not. And you can never say one bat's enough, because it isn't. You need lots, and you need role players, and they need better of just about everything. And they need improvements from guys they are bringing back. But these youth infusements like that they've brought in here, this is what the rebuild's supposed to bring. It's what it's supposed to bring. You can talk about all the other things and all the other ways and the trades and the swaps and the smart move here and the shrewd this and the shrewd that. But the thing that really is supposed to happen, you're supposed to suck. You're supposed to get high draft picks. You're supposed to turn those high draft picks into superstars. If you can do that, you have potentially built something that you can get there with. That's how important those two players are. We haven't even gotten to see one of them yet. It's hard to be a truly bad team with two legit stars. And that is why I believe Paul Skenes when he says he wants to win here, because I think he sees it too. That's going to do it for today's episode. Paul Skenes is a Cy Young winner. The rumors are just noise. And the future, it might be brighter than we think. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a different kind of show. I'm going to do the most Pollyanna, silver linings, best case scenario episode of Locked On Pirates I can possibly do. Even better than this third segment. Because we're going to talk about what if magic happens all over the place, okay? I think that'll be a fun show, even if it's delusional. Remember, we're serious about Pirates baseball most of the time because somebody has to be. Let's go Bucks.